Of the three tiers in relation to the response level, alert, serious and emergency, the level had been raised to serious. Now, today, I'd like to announce that we are going to escalate it to the highest level, that is emergency.
Adrian Brown is live for us in Hong Kong. He's looking at the latest developments there. So let's start with the latest statement. What does that mean for the territory now to be at an emergency level?
Well, she's going to set up not just one, but also 4 task force to look at different ways of trying to, contain this crisis. She's also saying that all mainland people, all citizens coming from mainland China, whether by road, rail, sea, air, will have to sign health declaration forms on their arrival. But of course, that is dependent on people's honesty, declaring where they've really been in China. Have they been to Wuhan? A lot of people are saying this is something that she should have done, in fact, several weeks ago when the scale of this crisis started to become apparent. But she's done that now. She's also going to extend the current Lunar New Year school holidays until February the 17th. So, yes, I think it's a final acknowledgement today that Hong Kong does now regard this as a crisis. She has confirmed what many people have suspected all along, that this thing is getting much more serious. The mood in Hong Kong is subdued, it's flat. There is no panic, that has to be stressed, but there is a deepening sense of unease about where we are now heading. We've been hearing also today from one of Hong Kong's leading microbiologists. The reason why he's important is because he played a leading role in the efforts to try to contain the spread of the SARS virus 17 years ago. And he says that this current virus has an attack rate of 83%, which sounds, quite scary. And he's also suggesting that everyone going out in public now in Hong Kong should wear a face mask. Many more people wearing face masks than this time yesterday, it has to be said. And he's also urging the government to do what it's now done, which is to, extend the leave for students and pupils at schools and universities in Hong Kong. This, of course, is really a very testing time for President Xi Jinping, because he really is under pressure on so many fronts right now. The elections in Taiwan didn't go the way he wanted them to. Also, in his trade negotiations with the United States, he's had to make very important concessions. And of course, the protests here in Hong Kong are still going on 8 months on. And now he's having to convince, at times, what seems to be quite a skeptical public in China, that his government is capable of trying to contain the spreading virus. But of course, because of the extensive censorship you have in China, that tends to breed skepticism at times like this.
And how easy is it right now to implement screening, given that it's difficult to detect the virus, right? Long incubation periods, not always very obvious signs.
No, you're absolutely right. And the microbiologist I was referring to earlier on made this same point today. He said that, someone arriving from the mainland on a Friday will seem perfectly healthy and not develop any symptoms until, 3 or 4 days later. This virus has, a pretty long incubation period. So people who may be sick don't show signs of illness until several days later. That is the big worry about this virus. Something similar happened with SARS, but this particular virus seems to be a lot more deceptive. The problem for Hong Kong, Sammy, is the government can control some things, but it can't control geography. Hong Kong borders China, and of course, there are myriad ways for mainland people to enter Hong Kong. And of course, some of those people coming into Hong Kong have come from Wuhan via other cities like Shenzhen or Guangzhou, just across the border.
All right, we'll leave it there for now. Thanks so much, Adrian Brown.